Hello Capricorn, welcome to your reading. My name is Maria and this is a tarot-intuitive story for you if you have Capricorn anywhere in your chart. If you're a cross-watcher and or if something else drew you here and the story resonates, then surely it was meant for you as well. So I've made your reading with 3 cards, with the Shaman's Dream Oracle cards, the Light Seer's Tarot and the Zen Tarot. And we start out your reading with what I would assume is a very welcome card for you, the Chariot, forward movement, momentum. And it really comes out as finally you can move forward. You've been held back in order to do some important work, but it looks like that work is either wrapping up or you've already done it, or you got the gist of the lesson, let's say, and you're so finally, you get to just move forward and to unleash your passion, your energy, your wish to create, to manifest, to move. All of that is coming back into play to your life, in your life. It comes out clarified by the netcaster. Preparations come to fruition. So you might not necessarily have known, you could have been aware, or it could have been a bigger process in your life that you've been preparing for some big new forward movement, and just some things needed to be cleared up and detoxed and changed and realized for you to have this new next ascension and next forward movement in your life. So what it looks like is, because it comes out with the netcaster, it's sort of like you've been, in a way, you've been preparing yourself to be able to cast a broader net. And in order to do that, you've been having to sort of clean up some old debris, maybe some old ego structures or trauma reactions, or something that was keeping you small, or something that was keeping you tied to things that was slowing you down. You've been cleaning this up, or you're just in the last phases of sort of cleaning that out. And so what this means is that when this new momentum starts happening in your life, then, which it might just have begun to do, you'll be able to go much further than you have before, because you've cleaned out a lot of things, and you've prepared maybe for a really long time. This comes out, it reminds me of an Abraham Lincoln, I think, quote that I read once, which is if it's something like, if I have 4 hours to cut down a tree, I'll spend the first 3 sharpening my axe. It's something like that. So it's just, the preparations might have taken quite a bit longer than you thought they would, and this could have been sort of a very spiritual or personal journey, so you might not have been completely aware of this, that was what it was, or you could be completely aware and you've been preparing something that you want to do, and it's been taking longer maybe than you were prepared for or thought it would, but it will turn out to be very efficiently spent time. It will turn out to be really, just the thing that makes it much more easy, and that actually makes it possible for you to now create success that is bigger than what you've created before. Although I'm sure you have already created big success in your life, this is really taking you to the next level. And that is being described by this one, the Creator, the Human Sun card from the Zen Tarot deck. So the sun being just the source of all light, of creation, of any kind of manifestation, of goodness, and leadership, which fits very nicely, of course, with the Capricorn sort of journey in life, for you to reach this level of, I think also, power and creational power, and being a very clear and potent source for the light. But it also comes out as the courage to manifest, as the courage to think big, to have a really big vision, and to create from that space. So it's really taking you now into the next level. So then comes sort of a backstory for this and what it is that what's this thing that you've been preparing, or at least maybe an aspect of it. I don't know if it's all of it, but it's coming out as something very important that had to happen, that you had to look at, and that you've been having to clean up. And that story starts out with the devil. So the devil is a temptation energy, and it's something that sort of that draws us in and then binds us, manipulates us, or tortures us even. But so it comes out in a couple of different ways. First of all, it comes out clarified by a community card. It's called Gathering Around the Power of Community. And this particular card looks to me like sort of a toxic community. These mushrooms don't look like they're safe to eat. So and coming out, as clarifier for the devil, it talks about some toxic either relationships, or a toxic relationship, or a series of toxic relationships, or toxic communities. So you could also have sort of a friend, lover, family member who is deep in addiction and keeps coming back and sucking just your life force out of you, and maybe other resources from your life, and you've been sort of ensnared into that energy one time after another, and it just keeps on. It has been kept on being toxic and not moving, and really, really unhealthy for you. And so that could have been a dynamic that's been playing out. You could also be somebody who has a tendency to find this kind of people, or to allow this kind of person into your life, or you have been. It could have been sort of a serial monogamy, and every time it kind of turned out to be something toxic to you. Started out very tempting, very sort of inviting. This one kind of steps forward and is like, yeah, hi, how you doing? But then it just has been turning out to be a very, very tricky journey with a lot of toxic energy, and causing heartbreak, sorrow, maybe feelings of betrayal or loss. And so you some part of your sort of life with others could also have been friends who were like this. So either in sort of a friend or community sort of setting, or in a dating scenario, this has been a really difficult energy for some time in your life, maybe for all of your life. This kept coming in. And so what I see happen is that you realize this is an earlier point. You realized, okay, actually this trauma loop is recurring in my life. This person keeps coming back, or this sort of dynamic keeps coming back somehow in my life, and it always starts out the same, somehow plays out the same, and ends up with the same result. And of course, at some point in your life, you just realize that you know that old saying that you couldn't keep doing the same things and expecting different results. So you've been making a change, a very, very healthy and wise change, because it looks like you made a decision at some earlier point that you were gonna actually focus your attention on things that were nurturing to you and to your life. So you come out here with the 9 of Pentacles, and this one looking like she's sort of just focusing on the bounty, focusing on the resources, and picking them and making a soup to nurture herself and others. And so it's coming out as you decided to invest emotionally, I think primarily in things that were giving back to you, or that have been nurturing to you. So you could have actually just been completely detoxing from relationships or from communities, because you just thought, okay, yeah, I actually need to take care of me. I need to get to know me. I need to build friendship with myself. And so it also looks very much like practicing self-love, and just choosing you. and choosing us to be more aware of the things that, of the energies that you've decided to give room in your life, but it looks very much like you've had a period of time where you didn't let too many people into your life because you just realized probably that you needed self-love, and that self-love was actually going to be the only cure to resisting this, to resist an energy that comes in with sort of a lot of promise and is very tempting. Because if you had nurtured yourself completely and fully, that energy would not be as attractive. It would not seem, you would not be as easily hooked. And you in your wisdom realized that, and you started changing it. So out comes the Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences, telling me that this was a great choice because it is leading you to a new world of abundance, because you made this choice that you were gonna do it differently, and you were actually gonna leave, you know, that paradigm behind, and you were gonna leave that, those people or maybe everybody behind for a while in order to invest in you and invest in self-love and sharpening the axe. So and it is really coming out as something that is about to create or has been creating a lot of abundance in your life. So brilliant. And you come out then with the existence card. So what this is telling me is that you reach another new level of being with yourself and of being in life. There's sort of much more of being present, beingness, and communion maybe with nature or with spirit. And this could also be sort of meditating. Excuse me. But of course you come out alone, which is no wonder, because you had to do that. You had to spend time alone in order to reach a feeling at home with yourself state. So in that process, you might not necessarily have been with a lot of people, or maybe not had any community or something like that. You could have left a church that was really toxic to you, something like that. And so you've been arriving in this, and or you will, you know, it's sort of a storyline. So you can place yourself on the storyline and then switch around the past and present tenses. But it doesn't look like you're gonna stay here alone very long, because this was just, you know, this was where you needed to arrive, and then out of that arises, directly out of that, a lot of choices. The Nine of Cups comes out with just this one having just all of these cups, all of up in the air. It really looks like she has her choice of cups. And it also comes out as because I see this light that is sort of emanating sort of from her heart, and there's also the sun in the horizon. So it's like this, the fact that you've been healing yourself, nurturing yourself, creating self-love, and thereby sort of making a choice that is changing your destiny. It's turning on your heart light, and then that heart light is just attracting all of these opportunities. So if we're talking community, friends, lovers, relationships, dates, stepping back into the dating pool, and then suddenly all of these options, could be anything like that. So you reach then this level where you're probably, I'm assuming, still practicing self-love and all of that, but you have actually healed a lot of it. So now a new world is opening to you. And then the skywriting, the fates energy comes out, and so these two cards, they look to me sort of like, well, just visually they look also quite like opposites, but it's talking about, because this one is talking about fate, and this one looks like it's about a lot of options, a lot of possibilities. It's the Nine of Cups, so it's already great, but then just because of all of these cups up in the air, it looks like it's just, yeah, a lot of extra options. Maybe you're just looking for that one extra cup to make you, you know, to fulfill your whole happiness. But either way, it's like you then reach sort of maybe a sort of a confusion state as to, okay, yeah, but can I just choose any of these options? Doesn't it matter which one? Or is there like a one for me? Is there like the right community or the right person, like a soulmate or a twin, or that perfect tribe for me, or what, as you know, is there that, or is it just whatever options I choose to follow? I think it's sort of like a deeper philosophical question you have to spirit, to yourself. It's like, okay, but how do I choose? How do I know which one is the right one, if there is a right one? And if there isn't, then also how will I know what to choose? Like that, and so that situation actually looks a little bit stressful to you, trying to figure out, okay, but what's actually the truth about who I should be communing with? Is it just whoever I choose, or will I be guided to somebody who's the right one from a spiritual perspective? How much free will is there? How much destiny? And it almost looks like this one is a little more stressful to you than this one. So Spirit would like to try to answer that question, I think, through this reading. So it's saying, okay, first of all, focus on one at a time, which of course in a dating scenario seems like really healthy advice, but also probably maybe in a community sense, or maybe with friends. Not exactly sure about that part of it, but it does look like keep it simple. Keep it really simple. Don't choose all of the cups at once. Just take in one thing to your life and then feel how that is, and work with that for a little while, and then maybe if we're talking about more, then let more into your life. So you kind of it's also pointing me back to this one about you having become much more deliberate. So here at the sort of the beginning of the reading, somebody was like offering themselves to you and promising you the sun and the moon, maybe. Here you were like, okay, no, I'm actually going to take leadership, and I will choose what I want into my life. So becoming very deliberate. And it's like Spirit is now saying that's a fine strategy. You can keep on doing that. Keep on being deliberate and keep it simple. And that comes out clarified by this card called Repairing the Veil and Forgiveness. So this card, what's really weird to me, actually almost every single card in this deck, this Shaman's Oracle deck, is a mystery to me, because it's like nothing is fitting together. The number doesn't fit with the picture, and the picture doesn't fit with the headline. The headline doesn't fit with the what's that called, the under headline, and even the headline itself is kind of absurd. Repairing the veil, like why would you want to repair the veil? Like we're aiming to pierce through it. It's so weird, but I think that actually that's kind of the point of this that it wants to make today, because it comes out clarified by the politics card. So it's actually saying, don't repair the veil. Don't be too forgiving. Because that's what would take you off track. That's what would make this energy sort of be able to come back in and manipulate you, or cheat you, or deceive you, or drain your resources, or drag you into something that's not healthy for you at all. So really, don't be too forgiving. Don't bring your people pleaser energy into this next new level. And also don't repair the veil. So if something shows up that is sort of see this politics card, right? This is showing it maybe a little more clearly. Like this one has sort of a mask that it can put on, and then sometimes the mask slips and you see the real thing, right? So this is saying, and then if you have sort of a backstory of allowing toxicity and maybe having grown up in a home, with that kind of energy, or with an abusive parent, or parents with addiction problems, something like that. Most of the time, the knee-jerk reaction when the mask slips is to sort of help the narcissist or the other person to hide it again, to sort of to not out them, because that can have consequences. But it's really, it wants to unlearn that for you. And actually, take off the mask. If there's a mask, take it off. Do it as fast as possible. Don't repair it. Don't forgive it. Find out who they are right away. Because also this card where actually nothing is matching, it's really talking about also toxic people or communities where what is shown up front is not the same as what is backstage. What is said is not the same as actually being done. The values they claim to have are not at all the values that they navigating by, all of that. So anything that doesn't fit, let it show, let it stand out, be aware of it. And that's also why it's a good idea to keep it simple in the beginning, because you'll have your full focus on one thing and you'll see if the picture fits with what is being said, yes or no. And so you'll quickly find out whether you're dealing with somebody who is good for you or not, or a community that is or isn't. Like that's really what you need to be moving forward with, to keep claiming this new wisdom and leadership of yours. And doing that is you came out with the 10 of Cups. It came out sort of in reverse, and what that meant to me in this particular instance was that it's just happiness and community doesn't necessarily look as you think it will look. So this one might have had a tendency to come in and sort of show you a really neat picture of how you thought relationships or communities or friendships were supposed to look. And so you were like, oh, that's great, that's really what I want. And you kind of went with them. And so this card is coming out to say, no, it doesn't matter how it looks. It matters only how it feels. How it feels in your body and whether things are matching or not. Because things that don't match, words and actions and stuff like that don't match, is incredibly unhealthy, and maybe extra unhealthy to you if you have sort of a backstory of that. So it's not about how it looks. Something can look perfect and then not be it at all. And I believe you have been learning that lesson. This reading is really just here to says, just to keep that in mind, because your new beginning is like here. Your chariot has arrived. Literally, this is the chariot. So just remember everything you've learned, because I got chills when I saw these two cards coming out to end your reading. The Hierophant and the Sun. It's so gorgeous, Capricorn. It's just, you arriving at this place of lightness, of being, of trust in yourself, trust in life, trust in the divine, and knowing, that you're on the right path and everything is moving like it should. I sort of realizing the perfection of everything, and also coming out with the Teacher card, which is so linked to your destiny as a Capricorn, to become the wise teacher, and also very much become the teacher who has become so wise that they became a child again. It's like the ultimate the Capricorn can reach. It's so amazing. It's like you'll be teaching maybe others this thing that you learned, in order to help others to stay out of toxicity, which the world really needs. So it's so stunning. And then coming out the Sun, look at you, so happy, in such a state of bliss and light, and just, yes, it's really, you'll feel so happy. It's going to be really glorious. So this new this new beginning is coming for you. It's arriving, or it has just arrived, or it's just around the corner, and you'll feel so great. It's just really about just keep remembering the things that you've learned, because they will serve you so well in this new beginning of yours, and you'll find your way. You'll find the right thing. You will find it. Just listen to your body and remember what you learned. Yeah, this is so great, Capricorns. Yeah, I'm so happy about this message for you. So this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up, and if you have anything to add, or if you want to tell me about how it resonated, I'm always super happy to read your comments. So thank you for being here, Capricorn. I'll see you next time. Bye.